Hello, good evening, and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How's everybody tonight? Hope you're all well. Hope you're having a good week. Okay, so, well, if you were checking out the channel's social media pages over the weekend, I have been having a lot of fun playing 2D6 Dungeon, specifically playing the Haunted House expansion that we started on Halloween last year. I've finally completed the ground floor and preparing now to venture up onto the first floor. But I had the opportunity of meeting the designer Toby Lancaster at the UK Games Expo, and Toby has very generously provided a copy of one of his latest releases, which is the 2D6 Dungeon Lairs Omnibus. Now, if you are a regular player of 2D6 Dungeon, you might be familiar with the Lairs expansions that enhance the game further, adding new locations for your adventurers to explore, adding new rules, adding a new sort of end-of-level boss to encounter. And this omnibus basically collates those expansions together, one of which is the Haunted House, which, as I say, we've already started playing. So yes, we're going to take a look through the Lairs Omnibus and then jump on in to my attempt at trying to explore the first floor. We'll see where we get this evening. I dare say we might have a little bit of a follow-up in due course. My thanks, of course, to Toby and DR Games for providing a copy of 2D6 Dungeon Lairs Omnibus for us to take a look at this evening. Alright, let's jump to the table and take a look. So then, here we go. This is the hardbacked version of the Lairs Omnibus. The great thing about these 2D6 Dungeon, the game and its expansions, is typically you can get them in 3 versions. You can get a hardbacked version, as I've got here. You can get the soft cover version, and you can get a PDF. So it's really up to yourself what you sort of fancy. Of course, with this being a print and play game, in some instances you have to print out the cards. So it probably makes sense that the PDF version is a good idea to have. But I actually like this hardback version, something that is going to stand up to a lot of wear and tear. So, as it says on the back here, this omnibus features 5 lairs from 3 previous 2D6 publications. These are the Infernal Cave, the Sunken Swamp, the Ancient Mineshaft, the Basins of Adrumar. There we go, you see, I've already got a name to fail on. And the Haunted House. Each is a self-contained adventure which will see creatures and treasure revealed in new and unexpected ways. So there we go. Good evening, Roger. How are you? Just getting started. We are just going to take a look at the 2D6 Dungeon Lairs Omnibus. How are you? This feels like it's been a while since we've managed to have a show, hasn't it? So let's take a look. The quality, we always talk about quality of books, don't we? This is really nicely produced. I will point out right away, I got a copy that had a bit of a printing error to it. You can see there that there's actually a sort of double print. It has this strange orange aura on it. Typically only on the page that deals with the ground floor of the haunted house. So I think this might be some kind of of effect from the other side, maybe. But everything else is absolutely perfect. And of course, if you are a player of 2D6 Dungeon, you're going to recognise all of these wonderful tables that we get to go through. We do like tables on this channel, don't we? And this game has them in spades. It really does. There's so much to look through. So, as I pointed out, this basically features 5 adventures, to which these were split into the Lairs Volume 1, Lairs Volume 2, and then the Haunted House. And this, of course, collates everything together. And it pretty much just prints everything. So you sort of, the front cover there is of the initial Lairs expansion. So I guess if you've already got one of the Lairs expansion, I think it's still valid that if you wanted to get them all collated in one sort of publication, it's worthwhile. But in essence, you know, you might not necessarily need to do so. You could possibly just pick up the individual expansion that way. But if you're new to it, then this is definitely the way forward. Get them all in one go. So what we got here, this is... You love the cover art, Roger. It is actually really nice, isn't it? And I particularly like the cover art, of course, on the main game as well. They're really well done. But I like this one. It's very nice. And actually, we should have a quick look. So, does it actually say... We got a number of illustrations, but it doesn't say who actually did the cover art. Anyway, let's jump on in. So what have we got here? So, Lairs expansion. This is the Infernal Caves and the Sunken Swamp. And essentially, it starts straight off with sort of setting the scene as far as all of the rules are concerned. And what's kind of interesting is that the descriptive text to the actual adventure is the last part of the text area. I might have thought that this might have been right at the start to sort of set the scene, but no, we're jumping straight on in as far as game rules. So this is a lair that cannot exceed 25 by 25 squares. Tells us how to deal with our dead ends. So if we face a series of dead ends, cannot progress and there is less than 80% of the lair explored, then add an extra room exit. And then tells us details on how to complete the lair. But what I like about this, my dungeon that I created, of course all very straight walls, but this gives us the guides for basically doing cavern walls. And I've always kind of preferred caverns over dungeons for some reason. I think it was because when I was a kid, I went and got games workshops. Oh, was it Caverns and Catacombs? It was their very, very early... essentially, it was pieces of A4 hardstock card that you could cut out into winding pathways to actually make your own caverns. And I thought this was great. Of course, technology's moved on now, and we use foam, don't we? And we hot wire cutters to be able to make our caverns and dungeon tiles. But I always enjoyed that, and so I like the fact that this now includes caverns. We can make, you know, undulated walls and little nooks and crannies like that. Roger, you're saying you're doing good, you're just busy at work. Yes, I know that feeling. We love tables, we do indeed, don't we? So in this there are no exit shafts, and I think there is a rule Yes, an example of completing a lair. So here we go. You may retreat from a lair at any point following the same path you came in, but you cannot re-enter and carry on where you left off. You would instead restart a new lair. So it's one of these challenges where you've kind of got to go on in and get there to the end, because the moment you quit, then you've got to start again with a brand new lair. And that's really, it's a frustrating challenge, isn't it? As it says here, having not completed the lair, they did not receive a reward from the mayor and cannot pick this lair back up in the future. She'll never find this lair again. So what happens if you do complete the lair? In the infernal caves is to kill. Oh, here we go. We got a name. Harakor. I can do that one. Who's Harakor? We'll find out. But if we manage to defeat Harakor, then the mayor of the local town will give us 100 gold coins. That's pretty good. In the sunken swamp, you need to explore every room and clear out all the monsters that live there so they no longer threaten the town. Okay, I want to find out who Harakor is. We got some rules about treasure, about the gods, doors and locks, and then, as I say, we got a little bit of descriptive text to sort of set the scene, the narrative. But in the sunken swamps, we've got some additional rules about becoming soaked and flooded rooms. And then we have 2 new runes, so it adds additional elements to the game as well, which I guess you can incorporate into the main game of 2d6 Dungeon if you so desired. I get the impression that these lairs are something for you to be able to do, like a bit of a side quest, to wander off and do this, maybe level up in this lair, and then go back to your dungeon, because remember, of course, you're trying to complete 10 levels within your dungeon. Now, of course, regulars will know I only just completed level 1. We'll take a look at that when we start doing some live play. We've got our Lairs Volume 1 tables and a quick reference, and then here we go. We've got the tables. These are brilliant. I'm so used to seeing these now. Good evening, Toby. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you, sir? We've just been looking at the Lairs Volume 1, and we're admiring all of these tables. Now, of course, I've got to do a quick roll, haven't I? To see if, imagine we were in the infernal cave, and what might we encounter. Let's do a room, because it's always about the rooms, isn't it? So we pick our dice. We've got 2d6, because of course it's in the name, it's in the title. Our primary dice is going to be red, and white is our secondary. And as you can see, this is how it's laid out in the table here. So let's give this a go. What do we get? We get a 2-4. 2-4. A carcass site. Spread out across the floor here is a carcass, as if a large creature has feasted on its remains. We have then the encounter. So across the walls, symbols have been scrawled in blood. Nothing makes sense. Yes. Is that just a statement of life? Just in general? Good evening, Lars. Thank you for joining us. Let's do another one. Let's just check these out. I love the creativity that goes into all of the descriptions and the encounters. And of course, we've got so many to explore here. I won't ruin all of them, because that's the joy of exploring the cave, isn't it? So we've got 2-1. an incident site. There are 2 bloodied bodies here. They are dressed in ruined light armor with minimal equipment. You search through their bags and find herbs and a pouch. And then, of course, we need to roll on the appropriate tables to find out what we might have discovered. All right. So let's keep going. I want to find out who the boss is, because of course we do have additional creatures to be found here. A bladderwurst host. Flame wolf. Oh, okay, we like that. The flame wolf is unaffected by fire, its coat igniting when it rages with anger. Caught as puppies, they are raised by the order and suffer the ritual of flame until it becomes part of them. I'm liking a fire connection here, of course. Ugh, yeah. Giant spiders. No, not for me. I'm definitely not going to go into this cave. So, Harakor. Harakor is the most feared creature in the infernal caves. He lives to eat charred flesh, and fire, rather than cause harm, only empowers him. He is a terrible aberration of the Order's rituals. Basically, it looks like a fire bear. So that's who we're up against. My goodness, 18 hit points, but you get 110 XP. That's really good. Yeah, paw slash and heated claws. And what else do we have? Talus Lotus. Vian Frey. Ah, fantastic. So we do actually have an example here. I guess, is this something done by the community? This is cool, I like it. So yeah, we have a bit of an entrance here. Corridors leading off. What did they find? They found an old camp. So I like this. I like looking at other people's maps because it gives me ideas for what I might do in mine. This particular person's actually written in descriptions into each of the rooms, which is a nice idea. We had an old campsite. We got a large nest. Given that we had cards about spiders. Ugh. Oh, here we go, here we go. And we've got actually the boss fight right at the end. I like the select usage of red. Blooded space. That has a lot of red going on there. So that's cool. Like it. Oh, here we go. And then this is the Sunken Swamp. And again, yeah, okay. So this is somebody who's going along the sort of style that I'm trying to do, and trying to include little sort of icons for the elements that are within each room as a bit of a reminder. I know exactly what that room is, and I'm staying well clear of it. My goodness, they will have started straight away, and boom, there we go, that's the first encounter. No, run away! Go into room 2. I guess then they came back to number 3. 4. See, again, I always like sort of tracing someone's steps. So yeah, so they've gone 1, 3, 4, 5... back into 6, back round to 7. Where's 8? Where's 8? There's 10. There's 6. I can't see where... Oh, that's 9. I'm trying to find 8 now. I might be missing it. Anyway, I like it. That's really cool, really cool. Okay, Lairs Expansion Volume 2. So, in fact, actually, I'm familiar with these because I actually do have the first Lairs expansion. So this is new to me now. This is Lairs expansion volume 2. Again, really, really nice cover art. Really like the cover art on these. These are good. What have we got then? So this is the second Lairs expansion and features the rules and tables for the ancient mine shaft and basins of Adrumar. Adrumar, there we go. Got it right. We of course need to have the core rules and the tables codex. Yes, yes, yes. So the ancient mine shaft has been discovered and rumours are coming out of Adrumar in the east that the Khamir's grip is tightening on the geological basins within the region. You can help rid the land of the creatures that might threaten the peace of Corradine and as a result find treasure and adventure. We always want treasure and adventure. Dean Spencer art. But is Dean Spencer, or who's the person responsible for this wonderful cover art? This is really, really nice. Very evocative. So we got, and it's laid out very much like the previous ones, of course. That's really helpful. We got our difficulty, experience points balance, talking about the gods again. We've got a little bit of description on how to do our drawing of our walls, so we can have slightly uneven walls for down in the ancient mine area. Doors and locks, dead ends. No patrols in the mine shaft or the basin. Okay, interesting. No connection to a dungeon. There is no way down into a dungeon through the mine shaft. They are not connected. Okay, so this is a completely different area. Again, I feel that this is something that we leave the dungeon to go off to this lair to maybe do a little bit of a side quest. Maybe we've rested in town for a little bit once we've completed our last level. And this is something to, you know, palate cleanser maybe. Go and try something a bit different before we venture down to try and do another level. Is there any... what do we have here? Intimidated. So here we go. Retreating. You can retreat from any fight. When you do this, you must flee the lair, meaning it has not been cleared. When you escape the creature, it is one last attack as you turn and run. Okay. The creature will not follow you from the lair, but remain in the current room, so you note it on the map. If you return to fight the creature, it is healed to full health, typical, and you are intimidated. The rooms you have cleared already remain cleared, and you start at the room you fled from. Okay. That's it, yes, and so this is different from the Lairs Volume 1, where if you retreat, you cannot return to the same lair. Alright. Lars, you're saying it's also a way to try and get more coins or experience to better equip yourself for the dungeon. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So intimidated, this is interesting. As described above, you become intimidated by a creature when you retreat and end a combat. If you then face the same exact creature, although you are not discouraged, you are intimidated. This causes a type of flinch reaction when defending against it, meaning the creature you are intimidated by has a +1 damage. Okay. So if you withdraw again, the intimidation becomes worse, and the next time you face the creature, you have +2. You can return as many times as you like, with damage modifier going up by 1 each time to a maximum of 3. That's nice. I like this now. But the thing is, what happens if and when you defeat the creature? Do you overcome your intimidation? Do you become boldened by the fact of you've defeated your nemesis? Or is this something that you always, so in the back of your mind, it's always there that should you meet one of those creatures again, you're a little bit wary? Interesting. But I like that. That's cool. So the goal of both lairs in Volume 2 is to explore every room and clear it out of all the monsters that live there, so they no longer threaten the land above. And so we get details then on the ancient mine shaft. So there's a central space here that you can't go on into, because that, of course, is the mine shaft. Again, it's a 25 by 25. And then we have an example of the basins of Adrumar. Adrumar. And Toby, you're saying you had to come up with a penalty for fleeing. This is, well, fair enough, fair enough. Oh yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. It's good. The final room, when you reach the final normal size room, so we have the Khmer Monument. Okay, so that's who we're against. Let's have a quick look. Here we go. Because you know I want to do a roll. So this is for the ancient mine shaft. Oh, that's a 5 and a 5. But there's more for us to. Part 1. Oh. Oh, here we go. Hang on. That's part 1. That's part 2. So am I on to part 3? Yes. 5. Nope, part 4. 5 and a 5. Mine lift. There is an ancient cage here that once served as a lift. It looks as if it's tumbled down from some height and now lays on its side covered in dust. The cogs and ropes have been taken a long time ago. There is a figure inside lying on its back, a zombie miner. It sees you and becomes agitated and bursts from the lift. There are 2 if you are level 5 or above. Oh gosh, if you survive, and we roll on the appropriate chart, we'll have to check out what the zombie miner is later. Is this full of zombies then, I guess? 2 and a 1. 2 and a 1, what do we get? So back over on this one. 2 and a 1. A work camp. Someone has set up a small camp here. A low table and 2 chairs stand next to a cold burner. There is an old bag in one corner and a discarded rolled up scroll. You pick it up and see it talks of an unstable wall. Make a note. If you should face a zombie miner, oh gosh, if only we'd come to here first. You can add 10 damage to one successful attack as you shove it back into the unstable wall the scroll mentions. The wall then collapses on the creature. Ha ha ha! There we go. Yes. Maybe we should have gone to the work camp first, eh? That's cool. I like that. We're going to have a table on the basins of Adrumar, aren't we? Basins of Adrumar, 32 squares or larger. My goodness. Excuse me a second. Okay, let's take a look here. 6-2. What do we have? Wrecked tunnels. This space has been wrecked by a series of tunnels which have been dug through the walls. Most are collapsed and full of sand and stone. In one, though, there is movement and powerful jaws appear. You stumble backwards as a large ag beetle plunges into the space, kicking up sand as it does. Defend yourselves. Or yourself, even. And -1 shift on the first round. If you survive, roll on the appropriate table. So I've actually been playing, as much as 2D6 Dungeon is a solo game, I've actually been playing it in a fashion 2-player. What we've been doing is sat around the table, both rolling separately and then doing our separate dungeons but at the same time, and it's been actually a really good experience. We're not connected as far as our dungeons are concerned, nor our encounters, but it does actually feel as if you're playing together, even though you are separate. And we've been thoroughly enjoying the experience. It's been really, really good. That's what we're doing as far as the main dungeon. And of course, I've sort of gone ahead with the haunted house. So hopefully we'll get to come back and start on our second level for our dungeon. Oh, there we go. There's our ag beetle. We've just seen that. We have corrupted Helion, giant cockroaches. A Khmer warrior. Okay. We've got the undead miner. So, Khmer warrior. So after extended periods of time spent in the basin, these humanoid creatures have developed stone-like skin to help them survive. The warriors are also trained in the art of the stone blades. My goodness! Oh my... The XP on these, 420, 625... 1,450, but it's got a HP of 58. Oh my goodness. Wow. You take one of those out, yes, you're going to go up a couple of levels, aren't you? But that's going to be one hell of a fight. I am certainly, my character is not at that level at all. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. And so, finally, we have the haunted house. Again, if you want to check out our initial play, it was at Halloween last year. You can see how I did. I have been playing a little bit more over the weekend. I think this is a great idea. I really, really loved it. One of my favourite games is the board game Mansions of Madness, based on the H.P. Lovecraft Cthulhu mythos. So this, really, really enjoyed experiencing this haunted house. Really enjoyed it. Lots of good fun. So, we're going to... jump on in. Now, disclaimers, I've not been playing it 100%ly. I've not been dealing with the rolling for combat, things like that, because my character is set up for doing the dungeon and I don't want to alter any of the values. Plus also, I kind of wanted this to be a bit more of a sort of creative experience. And again, when you're playing solo games like this, it's totally up to you what the rules are. I think, in fact, even in the core book, it says, you know, fudge things so long as you're having fun. And that's what I've done. So then, let's show you guys what I've got up to. And I'll take you on a little tour. I will show you first, before we do that. Oh, here we go. So, this was my dungeon. This is where I got up to with my level 1. Hopefully that's coming across okay. Is that maybe a bit better? There we go. I've yet to put all the details in. Basically because I was a little bit nervous of ruining it and I didn't want to do so. So that's as far as I got. And I've left myself my page for my level 2, so I will start this at some point. But I'm doing the haunted house, and hopefully you can see that. Let me is that going to be... no, it's a bit blurred. There you go. I think that's possibly the best. So I've had a go at putting in some detail, which I didn't do obviously in the previous one. And I've had a lot of fun making this. It really has been a nice creative journey. as I say, I've been going more for the art and the exploration than necessarily, you know, playing the game in inverted quotes. But it's good fun. So then, what we're going to do is we're going to carry on and have a go at maybe doing a few rooms on the first floor, just to see where we're up to. Now, what I'm going to do, because I need to get everything in a place where you guys can see and I can work, we're going to split the screen, because I've got my character sheet, and as Lars points out quite rightly, that you actually use a different character. Again, I'm not necessarily playing 100% by the rules here, but what I've done is I have this is where I finished my level 1 of the dungeon, and you can see how I sort of track my information in a PDF here, and I enjoy this sort of journaling. It's not quite to that level, but I'm enjoying that aspect of recording my adventures and my encounters as we go through. And I've done the same for the ground floor. So as you can see, my sort of path, and I sort of marked it in with little footsteps, like a little ant trail working away around the house there, encountering the library and the sitting room, going into the boot room, the rect space and the drawing room, and finishing off then in the playroom and in the lounging room, and then quickly getting out of that, going back into the main hallway, and we're now going up the stairs, up into the landing area here. And we're going to explore this first floor. So, let me open this up, get onto the appropriate table. So 94. We'll put that here. In fact, I probably need something just to hold this down a little bit. There we go, that should be okay. Right then, let's see, get on in and have a go. So, we've come up the flight of stairs, and I guess we have a choice of doors. So, which way shall we go? North, south, east, or west? I'm going to let you guys in the chat determine where we're going to go. I'm going to move my character sheet over. Because we're starting from the landing. And then we'll roll some dice. East, says Toby. Okay, let's go with that. So first of all, we need to roll our dice. I'm going to keep on bringing this back and two. So 1 and a 5. Now we can't have any corridors, so I think we just add a +1 to the 1, don't we? So that's a 2, 5. I need a pencil. I'm probably better to do that. Let's get myself my ruler out. So 2, 5, we're going east. I think this actually just works out quite nicely, doesn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, it does. It goes to the extent. So we've got a whole room just there. Let's put that in. And I think we'll make it slightly higher up. This is quite a sort of narrow room, isn't it? And we need basically to put a door onto every wall, and we'll give ourselves some options. So we'll put a door in here, and we'll put a door in here. All right, we got our doors in. Now we need to find out what kind of room. Oh, but I should be marking on in. You guys are going to have to remind me to make sure I do my my notes. So we don't know what we've got yet, but we definitely have our dice roll. So it was a 2 and a 5. And now we're going to roll to find out what type of room we've got. We've got a 6-5. What's 6-5? Okay, 6-5. A sacrificial hex. The space is scattered with mundane objects. There is a small pile of ash to one side where something has been burned. Twig mobiles hanging from the ceiling above a hex marked in chalk. Upon this is a pool of fresh blood. No! Okay. Maybe we got. I can have that set up at the back here, can't I? It would look like one of these rooms where you drawn inwards. Okay, I like that. Sacrificial hex. And so we need to make some notes. A shaft. Oh, there we go. Yeah, a shaft of moonlight suddenly breaks into the room, and you see a severed goat's head in the corner. So we got to make a successful PC91 or gain 1 fear point. From another corner comes a shadow. We have to roll on a table and fight. Right. Okay. I'm going to make some notes here. So. +1 fear. And we have DC 9. And we'll find out who we encounter. But as I say, we're not necessarily doing the combat today. That's what slowed down the last time where I did a live show on this. Because if I remember rightly, I died. So we're going to go to HL1A, which is going to be this way, isn't it? HA1A. Is it over on this side? No, gone too far. Oh, I know it. It's the small ones, isn't it? Here we go. Here we go. HL1A, Halloween level animals. All right, what we are up against. Let's roll this. It's a 3, a giant bat. And we'll just make a note of that. I'm going to have to find something to hold this down. There we go. I have an appropriate item. Alright, so we would be up against a bat, but it's okay. We're going to assume that we got out of that fine. There we go. Alright. Right then. Let's move onwards. So, where do we go now? Do we want to go back to the landing, or are we going to... And I'd rather we continued our progression, so I can do my little ant trail. So, north or south? Which way are we going to go? Now that we've got past the bat and we had the hex and there was the goat's head. What I'll do is I will end up working up all of these pencil lines. Was there any effect from the fear point? Well, it was the PC9. Let me just take a look on that. See, because I've not been doing the... Oh, I should move that over to this side here for those who are not familiar with it. So, as you're exploring the house, there's the potential of gaining fear points, which, as you build up, these, of course, have a detrimental effect on your constable. But because I'm not dealing with the... I suppose the gaming sort of side of this, I'm doing more as just an exploration. I haven't been including... I've been making a note that I had the potential of gaining a fear point. I've actually been quite successful. I've actually managed to avoid most of them. I think I am up to about level 3 if I was to gain each one. Let me just have a quick check. Just seeing. In fact, level I would have potentially. I would have had no. Yeah, 3. There was one with the snake in the wrecked space, and there was one in the lounging room. One thing though that I haven't done is we should have checked on the door, shouldn't we? So let me just roll for the door. Doors are something that I have been doing. We've got to keep that going. So 5 and 6 I have to roll on the haunted door table. I get a 1, so there was no effect on the door. And I just need to put on in here. So I know which doors I have gone through and which I haven't. Okay, so we've got north and south. Okay, which one are we going to go for, north or south? I'm looking to see who Jeff is, because I'm looking through the chat and can't see any Jeffs, and now I've realised that Jeff is Lars. I was getting very confused. Let's go. Well, Lars, let's go with your south then. All right. So roll for the door first off. Gotta keep going. It's a 6. Okay, so then I've got to roll on the door table. Where's the doors? Doors. There we go. Haunted door table. So rolling again. We get a 5. Okay. So the knots and grains form a wise old face that smiles and whispers a warning of what is to come. It tells you of a way of fighting the beast and when it will happen. The next enemy you face, +1 shift. Ah, so we get a bit of a bonus. That's good. There's something positive has happened. So we're just going to make a note of that. So, didn't go through north. We rolled a 5. And we get a +1 on our shift. Okay. Let us then find out what room we are going into. Level 2, there we go. Alright. Roll the dice. 4-4, and that's nice and easy. What have we got? Oh, hang on. No, that's the size, isn't it? Get the size done. So 4-4. So, going south. 1, 2, 3. Oh, actually, this works out quite nicely, doesn't it? We seem to have quite a few sort of intricate little rooms in the ground floor, and these are all seeming quite larger. So maybe we might get the entire floor done. We'll see. Okay, so now we need to roll for what the actual room represents. 4 and a 1. We're still with those 4s. What do we got? 4-1. Parchment store. There are strings hanging across the ceiling, upon which there are pages of parchment clipped in place. There is a table here with scrolls scattered across it. At the back of the room is a figure standing in the shadows. The shape lopes towards you and attacks. Gain 1 fear point. Okay. And roll on HL1U. Defend yourself. So if you survive, you search the room and find 2 scrolls and a drawing of a woman with black hair. Okay. And roll on tables SCT1 and SCT2. So we're in the parchment store. And that was a 4 and a 1. And what do? We gain 1 fear. And we have to find out who we are fighting. HL1U. So this is... HL1U. These are undead encounters. Let's find out. 6. A clay ogle. Let's... you guys, if you haven't encountered a clay ogle, let's find out what one looks like. I should point out, there's a wonderful example, again, which I'm taking my sort of inspiration of. So I like that they include sort of community art here as into the book, which is great. Really nice. Let's have a look at clay. Where is it? The clay ogle. So XP 34. Clay ogle is an animated body plied with daubs of clay and then resurrected by low magic. They are created by dark enchanters as guards and menaces. We met a dark enchanter right at the start on the ground floor. Maybe after we get to the end of the floor, or maybe even the attic area, they can work some sort of narrative of all of these rooms and encounters. That could be good fun. That's what I like about this game, is that you can definitely take it beyond these rules, and the sort of creative element of it allows you to just expand and allow your imagination to go into different areas, and I really enjoy that. So I need to put down details. What did I find? So parchment room, store. So it was the clay, wasn't it? And we got SCT1 and SCT2. Okay. So we need to put on in the doorway. And we're just going to put that in just here. So we can make a nice, quite a nice room there. I'm going to assume that we're going to go through this west door. We're going to keep on maybe working our way around this level. So let's find out if we have to deal with anything. What's that? It's a 2. No, we don't. Okay, and again, we roll now for the size. Oh gosh, 6 and a 4. Now, I guess we got it's 3 high, so I'm gonna kind of just I kind of fudge these a little bit because it kind of makes sense for the kind of house I'm trying to make. So we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we can't have a well, we can't. Can we have a? We can't have a corridor, can we? So I might actually just bring that into a 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do that there. How about make it make sense a little bit? So if we bring this here, this gives us then some options, doesn't it? So we can put a door in here. We can put a door in here. There we go. What we're going to call that? We're going to call it 5 by 4, I guess. Kind of. And so, going to roll on the table. Let's see what we encounter. 5, 5. A twisted shrine. This room has been converted into a shrine. Sticks, chair legs, and split planks have been stacked to form a shelter under which are melted candles. A dark green vine weaves in amongst the structure, giving it more stability. At first, there appears to be nobody here, but then you notice a shadow in the back of the shrine. A figure is tied up at the back. You reach in, but fail to see a snake that lashes out and bites your arm, so lose 1 hit point. And then we got 1 L1 PR. So let's write this in. We got 4, 4. And this is Twisted Shrine. I like all the variety of the different rooms that you can encounter here. We have a snake. And then what? L1. And we have a door to the north and one to the west. Actually, I should be putting in, shouldn't I, my numbers. Otherwise, I will forget. Bound to happen. Okay, where are we going? So Toby's saying, yeah, it takes a while and quite a bit of research to come up with them all. Yeah, most definitely. And of course, you've got a sort of style. I suppose you must have had an idea of the kind of haunted house that you were sort of thinking of. Did you actually, when you were putting your rooms together, did you create your own haunted house and then, you know, put elements into rooms and then retrospectively write on in, these are the types of rooms you wanted? How did you go about it? Liberate one prisoner. Thank you, yes. Alright, so which way are we going? North or west out of this twisted shrine? West, says Roger. Okay, let's do that. So, roll for the door. 4. Typical. Okay. So, there. Or there. Let's see what we have to face. It's not going to be somebody to help us. That's a 5. Oh, it is! It is! No, I feel like we need something different. Can't do the same thing over and over again. That's a 4. We'll go with that. Your hand passes straight through the door. It is an illusion. You can walk straight through it. Aha. Alright, so then, well, we know that this has got to be a 2, given that how much size we've got, so it's really only the white dice we're kind of interested in. So it's 5. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it juts out just a little bit. We're going to have just one door up at the top. Let's just put this in just here. There we go. And so that's going to be a 2-5. And then let's find out what kind of room it is. At 2-5. Gosh. So, what we're looking at, 2-5, a makeshift stage. All the furniture, that's going to be interesting to do in this very, very narrow corridor. Anyway, all the furniture in this room has been smashed and piled up to make a stage of sorts. A considerable force would have been needed to compact it in that way. A woman with long black hair stands on the shadowy stage. Oh my goodness. She wears a dirty dress. Her face flicks up and she looks drained and pale. If you have a drawing of this woman... Hey, we do, don't we? Then hold it up and she disappears. Otherwise, she flies towards you, then vanishes and gain 2 fear points. But we did... Oh, where did we see... I didn't make a note of that, did I? Why didn't anybody tell me? Oh, the parchment store. Here we go. Find 2 scrolls and a drawing of a woman with black hair. So let's just make a note of that. Oh. So this one is... I see. Makeshift stage. This was a good choice, Roger. You see, it was perfect timing. So we were okay, wasn't we? Nobody to fight. And literally we have just one door to go through. Let's roll on that. It's a 6. Okay, so we're rolling on the chart for the door. And it's a 3. So as you take the handle, a sound from within the house makes you pause. You hear scraping nails along the floorboards above. Pass a precision check or gain 1 fear point. You continue onwards through. Okay, I'll make a note. All right, let's continue. So we're make a note of this. That's number 4. And what we'll do is we'll make this the last room. Because I'm kind of rushing through and I don't really want to do that too much. But we've had a bit of an exploration, which would be nice. So let's do... Let's see what kind of room we get here. That's a 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3. So... it would be actually just continuing up, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. Oh, this is interesting. So that continues to there. And we need to put in a couple of doors. We've got a door here. And we'll just do it on the other side, just to give us something a bit different. And what kind of room might this be? A 4-5. A chapel space. Right then. 4-5. This simple space has a pew and a couple of stalls positioned in front of a simple shrine. You do not recognize the god depicted on the rough carving, but it appears to be freshly cut, replacing the original image. The form shows an image of a wild woman dancing around a fire. As you watch, the shrine suddenly bursts into flames. You jump back. Roll a d6 and add your precision. On a 4 or lower, the flames catch you. Lose 1 HP. I should be fine with fire. This channel is immune to any fire-based attacks for sure. So what do we have? Precision 4 or lower. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I think we'll wrap up there. Like I said, I don't want to go too far with this, and I want to add in some detail. But hopefully, and I guess the audience here live tonight clearly know this game incredibly well. So I'm preaching to the choir here, aren't I, a little bit? But for those who are not new to the game, hopefully you've got a little bit of an idea of the types of encounters you might meet, the type of creativity of the different rooms you might venture into. I'm already a big fan of the game because it allows me to express a little bit of creativity, and I really do enjoy that. This is a game that I try and come back to a little bit of time. As time allows, I can just add a little bit extra to it. And I think that the Omnibus edition of the Lairs expansions is a perfect edition, because it takes your sort of explorations beyond the dungeon to be able to explore various caverns and mine shafts and a swamp. So you really are starting to see the greater scope of the world, and then it's now for your creativity, isn't it, a little bit, to flesh that out in sort of visual form, and I really do enjoy that. So who knows, maybe we'll see, we'll have another session, maybe you'll get to see the second half of the first floor, maybe we'll venture up into the attic on a future date. It could be Halloween again, depending on how things go. Thank you so much, Toby, for joining on in, and thank you, Lars, for your guidance as well. Toby, you're saying the Haunted House is only available in the Omnibus and as a digital edition. Yes. Am I right in thinking there was also another themed Halloween release that is digital only as well? I think that was for last year. Is this a running thing that you're doing something every Halloween? Let's put this back here. There we go. So yes, what I'll do is I will ink these in, put some details in, and we'll start building up. Creatures of the Corn, that's the one. Yeah, we're getting the thumbs up there. So yes, we'll have to check that out in due course. But I think I'm gonna have enough to deal with on this haunted house before I venture back down into the dungeon. You're doing another one this year, fantastic. Well, there you go. So that's something to keep an eye open for, isn't it, as we get closer to the spooky season. Thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you, as I said, Toby and Lars, for joining on in and giving me a little bit of help there. That's very much appreciated. Plan for next time. I keep on trying to make this happen. Eventually I'm going to, honestly. So we're going to be taking a look at the starter set for Symbaroum from Free League Publishing. This is going to be a bit of an unboxing, going through, seeing what's available. Symbaroum was one of the first RPGs from Free League, so it's kind of interesting to look back. We've looked at so many of Free League's games over the years, so to see where the company kind of started, going to be a little bit of an interesting exploration. So I'm aiming to try and get this done next week. Keep an eye, of course, on the channel's social media. I'll let you know as things happen. This is, of course, juggling streaming with real life events, isn't it? As I'm sure many of you appreciate. So hopefully next week. That's the plan. Thank you for your company, everybody, and look forward to seeing you all next time. But until then, bye for now.